Hi, I'm Wendy from Shiny Happy World, and in this video I'm going to show you how to put together this cute goat applique pattern. So this is a bit of a mix and match pattern because goats can look really different. Some goats have horns, some do not. Some have a little top knot, a little poof of hair at the top of their head, some do not. Some have a little beard, some do not. And some actually don't have ears either. And they have ears, but the ears are not visible. So you can add or leave off any of those pieces, and I'm going to show you samples of all of those, but here's how to make it. Okay, this is a video showing how to assemble the goat pattern, and the goat pattern is a mix and match pattern. So I'm going to pull in this. So this is the placement guide for the goat, but I just wanted to point out this one that I'm making here, it uses all the pieces. Some goats have a little beard, some do not. This one is going to have a beard. Some have a little poof of hair on the top of their forehead. Some do not. Some have horns. Some don't. Most goats have visible ears, but there is one breed of goat that has no visible ears. So you can leave off any of these pieces that you see me using. I also have optional eyelashes on here. So on this one that you're going to watch me put together, I have thrown the works at it. It has all the pieces. But that is not the only way you can put it together. You could do a really fun quilt that is all goat blocks over and over and over again, different goats, and you can give them all different looks by leaving out some of these parts. So here are all of our pieces. So the first thing you need to do is prepare your pieces. This is the video showing you how to put it together if you do not have a light box. So you're going to fuse your paper-backed fusible adhesive to the back of your fabric and then cut all of the pieces out on the solid lines. Then within the pieces, you see some dotted lines. The dotted lines are placement guides showing you where different applique pieces are going to sit on top of this piece. So you want to transfer those lines to the fabric side of the piece. And you can do that just by holding it up to a window, and these lines will show through and you can just trace over them. I just use whatever the lightest thing I can that will show up on it. So in this case, that is a pencil. And then these solid lines are not placement guides, they are stitching lines. So you will want to transfer those to the front as well. And for those, I just use a fine-tipped Sharpie. It is a permanent pen, but that's okay because you're going to stitch over these with black thread. And so the black permanent marker hidden underneath the thread is never going to show up again. So that is the preparation. Then when it's time to put the pieces together, I like to start with the bottom, the piece that's going off the bottom edge. So I designed most of my patterns to be what I call snapshot style. So I want it to look like I've taken a picture of this goat and I've just zoomed in on the face. So he has a body, it's just not showing up in the photo. And to get that illusion, I line this piece, the straight edge of this piece up with the straight edge at the bottom of the block. And that way, when I sew all the blocks together, that's going to be cut into the seam allowance, or stitched into the seam allowance, so it'll give the illusion of a photo just with the body cropped out. If you want to float your head in the middle of the block, that's what I call emoji style, I recommend leaving the neck off so you don't have like a cut off neck showing in the block. All right, so we'll start with the bottom, the neck, and then we're going to add the head in because everything else kind of is anchored around the head. So I'm going to take, there was a line here, and I'm going to just set the head so that as soon as it covers that line, I know I have a good amount of overlap. All right, now, since this guy has a beard, I'm going to go ahead and tuck his beard in there. So the beard sits on top of the neck, but below the head. And again, just tuck it under there until that line that we transferred is covered up, and now we have a hidden beard, or a beard kind of growing out of his chin. All right, next up I am going to put his horns. So he's got two horns. Again, I'm going to tuck them behind the head until that chalk line is hidden. I'm going to do that on both sides. All right, now we have ears, and I gave him a slightly more complicated ear than I sometimes do, but I really wanted his ears to look like they were folded over because goat ears do that, and I think it makes them extra cute. So we're going to tuck this part of the ear behind the head so that that line gets covered, and it's going to be right pretty close to the horn. I want to do the same thing on the other side. I think I'm going to push these horns just up a little bit further on the head. Okay, and now we have these kind of inner ears, the underside of the ear, and this is going to tuck under these top pieces that we've put in here. So it's going to tuck under the ear and under the head. So we're just going to tuck that under there until those lines are covered again. And what you want at the tip of this ear is for this to almost look like a continuous curve. So you want to pull this one so that once they're layered over each other, you just have a nice curve there. Everything's covered. We'll do the same thing on the other side. So details like this are a little easier to do if you're using a light box, because you can lay this bottom part of the ear down first and then tuck everything over top of it. But you can definitely do it without a light box. It just takes a little bit more fussing. All right, and now we've got a nice curve there. All right, let's give him his cute little poof of hair on his forehead. And again, I've got some lines here that I am covering up. That looks cute. Give him his nose. And I use the marker to mark the position of the nose and the eyes because I'm going to put solid black fabric over it. And so I don't have to worry about that marker line showing through like I would have to if it was a lighter colored fabric. And you always want to position the eyes so that the eyelashes are kind of coming out of the top kind of corners. You want the eyelashes to come out like between 12 and 1 o'clock and between 11 and 12. All right, so all of the pieces are positioned. I'm happy with where they are. So I'm going to fuse it all in place. Just follow the directions on whatever brand of fusible adhesive you are using. I use Heat and Bond Light in all of my quilts, but follow the directions for your brand because they are all a little bit different. Then I will do all of the outline stitching on it, and I will bring it back and show you this finished goat as well, and 2 other goats that I made that don't use some of these parts. All right, here is one finished goat, and this one uses all of the available pieces, the little poof of hair, the beard, the horns, and the ears, and also the eyelashes. But I've got a couple other versions that I made. So this version has the horns and the ears, but I left off the little poof of hair and the beard and also the eyelashes. And I've got another version. This one has the ears and the little poof of hair and the beard and the eyelashes, but I left the horns off. So there are a lot of different ways that you can mix and match this, and it would be really fun, I think, to make an all goat quilt that just uses this one pattern over and over again, but mixing and matching all of these different options and leaving a lot of them off or putting a lot of them on. And you can end up with a quilt that has a whole bunch of different, every goat looks a little bit different. And I think that would be a lot of fun, a great way to use a $5 pattern to make a full-size quilt. So you can get that at shinyhappyworld.com. I'm Wendy, and I will see you next time.